Hello, everybody. My name is Leonard, and this is the Road to Recovery, episode number 3. For episode number 3, we have very special guests and my own brother, Leonard. Drew, introduce the people to yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Gino. My name is Drew. I grew up playing sports, every one that you can try under the sun. We ski raced growing up, played football, but baseball was always kind of my passion. I was lucky enough to win a state championship here for the Missoula Mavs and got recruited to go play a little college ball. But no, I think this is a great idea for a podcast, and my injuries were a big part of what shaped my life.
Awesome. Yeah, as you kind of led us into this next question, you got hurt in high school leading into college. Kind of walk us through what the injury was and kind of how it happened.
Yeah, so in the fall of my senior year of high school, I committed to the University of Sioux Falls to play college baseball. And leading up to my senior season that spring, I ended up tearing the labrum in my left hip. It was an injury that I didn't even know of. I didn't know it was a thing that you had anything down in that hip joint. And was just at practice one day, felt a pop, was a little awkward. When got diagnosed and found out the left labrum was torn. I had some discomfort in the right one, so I had them check that one out too, and it turned out I tore both of them. I had surgery a week into my senior year of high school season and missed the entire year.
Yeah, and also he's kind of downplaying it. It is a gnarly surgery. They dislocate your hip, and they had to shave down some bone spurs inside of his hip socket. I mean, it was brutal overall, but, the amount of respect I have for Drew, my brother, coming back, and the fact that he did it again. He had to get surgery again on one of those hips and kind of restart his whole process. And that's going to lead us into our next question. Like, how were you able to kind of maintain during this recovery process? You're kind of up, down, but what was the road you kind of took going through it?
It was a roller coaster. It really was. You have the initial shock of losing your senior season. We had just come off a state championship. We were looking to repeat. And next thing you know, you're in a hospital bed having your hip dislocated for your first surgery. And then you start recovering for a little bit. Then you have surgery number 2 6 weeks later. You spent all this time trying to rehab that left leg, and then next thing you know, you're on crutches, and you can only use that same left leg because you just got the right one done. But I was fortunate enough, I went off to college. I had a great support staff here in Missoula with my physical therapist, my family, and then off in Sioux Falls. My coaches were great. Our support staff and training staff out there was great. Unfortunately, I did re-tear the left one and had surgery in my freshman year of college, but no, it ended up working out all right.
Let's kind of let's walk us through your college baseball career. Walk us through, starting freshman year and going through everything else. Like, what did that look like, and what did college baseball look like for you?
It was a challenge. When you come from the state of Montana that isn't known for baseball, next thing you know, you're in a Division II conference, which is one of the most competitive in the country. Our rival just won the national championship the year before I got on campus, and I'm sitting there trying to compete and earn a spot on a good team. Came in, had a chip on my shoulder, but knew my number one priority was getting healthy. So while I was trying to do all that, I just tried to be a good teammate, make good relationships that would last longer than my injury would, and just have it all work out in the end.
Yeah, and then you got to the point where, you were healthy, you were starting to get into play again, and, that's when just, some other stuff started coming up, right?
Yeah, so I ended up making my return my sophomore season. I came in my sophomore year, and I actually pitched in 6 out of our first 12 games, which is kind of uncommon for a pitcher. We were off to a great start. We beat the number 7 team in the country, and then we hop on a plane back from Florida, land in Chicago O'Hare Airport, and find out that Rudy Gobert had just tested positive for COVID and the NBA was shutting down. The next morning, we wake up in Sioux Falls, found out that they were shutting down school for the rest of the semester, and we were done. Just like that, I'd spent 22 months recovering from injuries and got 6 games of playing time before it was all over again.
Yeah, overall, COVID was a pretty crazy experience. I remember he got right back in the car and drove back home to Missoula and gave us plenty of time to do things. And, it was good to see him. I hadn't got to see him the past 3 years, just the fact that he was at school. But COVID was a crazy time, a lot of card games. But after COVID, you had the ability to go back to Sioux Falls. But then, the wheels kept spinning and the injury bus kept coming back around. Let's talk a little bit about how your last couple of seasons in Sioux Falls were.
Yeah. Right after COVID, got back into the swing of things, was very excited to be back playing again finally, and just the hits kept on coming. I couldn't kind of get that left hip figured out, kept having issues with that. Played the whole season my junior year, but wasn't really having that much success on the field. Was never quite the same as I used to be in high school. Went and pitched for the Mining City Tommyknockers in Butte the summer before my senior year and gained a bunch of confidence, started to feel great, was really excited to get back out to Sioux Falls and have a good senior season. And then I ended up having some elbow issues that eventually ended up ending my career.
Yeah, no shame to it either. This kid went through the ringer, but it was always fun watching him when he was playing. Overall, your recovery process, mental challenges you went through. Were there any, examples where you were like, I need to talk to somebody, I need some help, and you just hadn't had that support cast that really helped you out?
It was a constant. It was an everyday type of deal where you're going through something and you're trying to be part of something bigger than yourself on a team, but you can't physically be a part of it. So being able to just talk to my teammates and find ways to support them because they were supporting me, just being there, being a friend, making sure you felt like you're a part of the team. And even my coaches were great. They let me do kind of indirect leadership stuff. Even though I wasn't on the field some of those years, I still was very vocal in our team meetings and finding ways to contribute.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like I find myself in that same place. It's like it's definitely a challenge to kind of make yourself think that you're still a part of it and you're in it. Like, University of Montana, we just won the Big Sky Conference Championship and we just beat the Cats up and we're the number 2 team in the country. But I still have this feeling deep down where I'm unsatisfied because I just didn't get the opportunity to do it with my teammates. Which, being selfish, I'm happy for those guys. Obviously, definitely just wish deep down that I could have been a part of it. I could have kept doing more for the team. But right now, I'm just trying to do my best and really help out those guys as much as I can. What advice would you have for other people, going through our similar process and, like trying to come back from an injury and play at the collegiate level?
It'll pass. That would be my best advice. It'll pass. Never doubt your ability to get back out there, and you're going to be stronger than you think you are. You look around and you think, I'm a step behind everyone. I'm not going to be back to where I used to be. At the end of the day, it's not true. Competitors are going to be competitive at the end of the day and find ways to get themselves to where they need to be, and that'd be the advice I'd have.
That is good advice, and it's 100% true. The only person that really can slow yourself down is you, and the only person that can really stop you is you. As long as you're in it fighting, you always have a chance. And that's kind of the way I've been looking at it recently. And after Drew got done with school, he had the chance to go work for Amazon, and he's kind of been on a killer career so far in working and stuff. And would you say that the challenges you went through and the adversity you went through in college and high school, getting through these injuries, kind of played a key part into how successful you already are in your early 20s in your professional career?
I would say what I've gone through in life it's been nothing special. Nothing makes you better off because of what you've gone through, and you're not special because everybody has their problems. I think that it was a huge advantage to me to be able to deal with adversity and not have things handed to me. I've always looked through that perspective. I had a great opportunity to go work for Amazon as a manager, as a 22-year-old managing 60 people underneath me that most of them were 15 years older than me.
Not only that, but he was working from 5 o'clock at night to 5 o'clock in the morning. It was a brutal shift that not many 20-year-olds are signing up for. But yeah, sorry to interrupt. Continue.
No, and I was fortunate enough to be able to come back to Missoula and work for Providence and be able to watch some Grizz football and be back in town. But no, I think the experience you learn from being a college athlete and the experiences you learn from pushing yourself to do more will pay dividends in the long run.
No, I definitely agree. Any closing words you have for the audience?
No, I would just say thanks for having me, and there's not many families that can say they've had 4 surgeries between their 2 kids before they both turn 25 years old. So
yeah, not only that, but our mom also carrying her weight with 3 of her own. But that'll be all for the Road to Recovery podcast, episode number 3, with my very own brother, Drew Leonard. Drew, thank you for joining the show.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, of course. And stay tuned for episode number 4, where we're going to get into a soccer athlete and how she overcame her obstacles to come back from injury.